Hello, welcome back to my attempted puzzle rating climb. If you notice, the score is lower than I ended last time. That's because I wasted 2 or 3 minutes failing a puzzle and decided not to include that in the video. But I freely admit that I failed. Okay, here, this one looks incredibly easy because since I am not currently in check, I have checkmate right here. It looks like no enemy pieces are protecting this square, obviously except the king, but the king cannot go there. So I'm just going to say checkmate. Okay. Next puzzle. Oh, my king is oddly exposed, and I have 2 pieces trapped. However, I am on the attack. It looks like I have a check here that is safe, which would force this rook back, and then I would check here with the knight, which would force the king back, and then I would take the rook, and that would be mate. So let's do that. That's checkmate. All right. Keep moving. Okay, this time my king is safe. Just as in a chess game, I try to look between each move for attacks, checks, captures, threats. Also look at weaknesses. That's one reason I'm checking my king. Here, I do have a check, which is very easily blocked either with the rook or the queen or the bishop or the knight. So that check seems like not a great idea. This doesn't do anything. I have a protect. No, that's bad. I was going to say if the queen was only the one guarding that square, then my knight, we could trade queens. But no, the bishop is also guarding that square. I can take material here, but that's just a fairly even trade. Even if the queen recaptures, it still even trades. So what is the answer? There's a fork if I do this check, which again can easily be blocked in a number of ways, at least 4 ways. But if I do this check and any of those blocks occur, or the king moves, I can take a rook. So I am going to go with that, seeing how both my rooks are active. Okay, they chose to guard with the queen, which I still think means I need to take this rook. Oh, and that wasn't it. That was only part of it. Now this rook is pointing directly at my queen. I could go back to where I was and trade queens, which would actually, it would force a trade of queens because of this. I'm not certain that's the answer, but I'm going to try it. Okay. That was the answer. Wow, that took a while. But we are above 1300. If you'll remember, I broke 1300 briefly yesterday before failing a puzzle. Let's see if I can keep it above 1300 this time. Okay. I'm not currently under threat, but the enemy, the opponent, is up on pieces. Well, up 1 bishop. And has a passed pawn. I currently technically have a passed pawn, but it is being blocked right now. And getting close to being captured. Let's see. I can give a check here, which is protected, and then would also protect this pawn from the queen. This check is a bad idea because of this bishop. Can give a check here, which continues. Sorry, there's too many arrows. This check continues to protect that pawn. And between the pawn and the queen, these squares would be off limits, as would that one. So the king, oh, that would be checkmate. Okay, I should have looked at this check first, because this pawn guards that square, and the queen would guard these squares as well as this one and this one. And this pawn guards this square, so I believe that's checkmate. Okay, excellent. Doing slightly better today, looks like. At least I didn't immediately revert back to the 1200s. That king had to move because of this rook, which means this guy is in dreadful danger. You know what I'm also seeing is this. And the reason that this looks like a good move to me, even though it appears to be just trading a higher rated piece, a rook for a bishop, it puts the king here, and again blocked off from this entire file by the other rook. And then this would basically be checkmate, because remember, the king's going to be here. The only thing then the opponent can do is block, but that's just that interposition is pointless. So I think that's it. Yes, okay. 13 points. That's more than I usually get for a puzzle. Okay. Let's keep this going. We have a queen face-off situation. One difference between my queen and theirs is that theirs has backup. Mine is just kind of exposed. What happens if we capture and they capture back? We have just traded queens. And then there's no follow-up move that I can see. Let's look for something else. I do have a check, but it's not really attractive. Just give away a queen for free. These rooks aren't doing much except protecting each other. Putting this rook down here would just be a giveaway. Wait. If I give away that rook, then that means this square isn't guarded anymore. But that check would be, again, ineffective because their rook could block, their queen could block, this rook could block. That doesn't do anything. It looks like queen trade might be the best option here. Okay, but I knew there had to be a follow-up move. What is it? Is it... I notice we both have light squared bishops, but the opponent's rooks are both on light squares, which looks like I can get a rook. Yeah, for a bishop. Okay. That one took a little longer than I thought it should have. Not good. I have a fork. This move would attack both the black rook and the black queen, but it still leaves my queen hanging. But then I would just attack theirs, and we would just lose our queens for apparently no reason. That doesn't seem like the answer. What happens if I oh, that's it. If I just take the rook, that forces this move. The king has no other legal move other than to capture the rook. And then I go here, forking the king and queen. I believe that's got to be it, yeah. And then I get the queen and a rook for my queen. That works. 9 points, excellent. Maybe I get higher points for higher rated puzzles? Or is it higher because I did it faster? Not sure. My king is not in grave danger, but it's pretty close. to grave danger. Pretty close. That looks, we're in desperate straits here, because that's a check forcing this move, and that's checkmate. So the enemy is primed and ready for action. I have to do something, and I have to do it fast. What in the world can I do? I mean, this move protects that pawn, but that can't be it. Again, as I mentioned yesterday, these puzzles are generally not defensive. They are generally offensive in nature, but I am not seeing this check is ridiculous and doesn't do anything to stop this coming checkmate. This check looks just as ridiculous. I mean, there is a follow-up check which protects this pawn, but all that would do is force the king to go back. Wow. I have no idea. Good grief. Because coming, I guess I could attack the queen, but again, that doesn't stop checkmate. I'm probably going to have to fail this one and come back to it. That looks a lot like I'm going to have to fail this one and come back to it. So, because I do not see any really smart move. Like in an actual game, right here, I would either do this to protect this pawn, I think, or this. You know what? Earlier I said if I did this, then I had a follow-up check. Now, okay, so it'd be, what if I did those moves in a different order? What if I did this to protect the pawn and set this up? Okay. Okay, well, I'm glad I didn't fail this one. Now they've just given me a free rook. That doesn't seem like a good idea. Okay, I'm assuming the computer had a really good reason to give me that free rook, and I see that I'm almost at 13 minutes. So thank you again for watching, and we'll be back again hopefully tomorrow, maybe the next day.